We were commissioned by the royal family of Qatar to build 4 Quran stands for them. These stands are going to be constructed from Bastogne walnut for the top with a black resin and then a solid black walnut base. This is the 4th order that we've done for these clients before. They've had 2 orders with coffee tables, and they've also ordered some of these Quran stands before. And I guess we're doing something right because they keep coming back to order more of this product from us. So the first stage in this process is to get our slabs placed into the mold so that we can pour the solid black resin that this client has selected. They wanted something fully opaque so you're not going to be able to see through these stands when they're fully assembled. So for that, we're using our Black Forest Deep resins and then some Ecopoxy black pigment to achieve this nice dark color in there. Once we have all the resin poured in the mold, it sits in there for 7 days to cure, and then we can get it popped out and onto our CNC machine to begin the flattening process. This is just to remove that excess layer of resin that was left on the surface during the pour. Once that's completed, it's over to the panel saw to begin breaking these pieces down to their final size, and then also start cutting some of the angles that's going to allow them to actually support a Quran. Once the pieces are sized, we can begin our glue up process. For this, we're doing kind of our standard joinery that we would use when we're doing a waterfall edge. So that consists of putting epoxy, specifically our coat thin resin, over the epoxy sections, and then we use wood glue, Titebond 3, over the wooden sections. You could, I guess, try and do this as a solid epoxy joint, but in our experience of 30 years of building doors, we have tried using epoxy for solid joints on wood, and it actually does not perform better than standard wood glue does. The epoxy tends to dry kind of brittle when compared to wood glue, so over seasonal expansion and contraction, that can actually cause failure, whereas the wood glue, the Titebond 3, is designed to have a little bit of give with that expansion and contraction, and you're not going to get failure in your joints because of that. So that piece that we just glued on is going to act as the ledge that is going to support the Qurans while this is being used. Then we can sand off that excess glue and get ready to cut the angle that's going to allow these to hold a book. As you can imagine, we don't want this to be perfectly flat across the top. We actually want it to have a little bit of an angle. So that's what Jack is doing right now, is fine-tuning the saw to get everything set perfectly.
I want it to be at 170. I know. Okay, sorry, I didn't.
So I think Jack's probably pretty happy with the angle he got there. He's within 1/100th of a degree, so we can let that slide in terms of precision today. And then we can prepare for this second glue up. So this is what I was mentioning earlier. We need to give these a little bit of an angle so a book is going to sit nicely in them. So we've constructed this custom jig using MDF, and we've then coated all the surfaces in tuck tape, and from there we're using masking tape just to tape off all of our surfaces on the stand itself so that we don't get a whole bunch of excess squeeze out and have extra cleanup to do afterwards. Same like the ledge we added before, we're doing epoxy over the epoxy sections, we're going to do wood glue over the wooden sections, and we're using the small dominoes to help secure everything in place and give some alignment.
There we go. Well, I think that's needed. They could probably use one more. Stealing more tools. No, having the glue in there actually.
After we've allowed these pieces to sit for 48 hours in the clamps, we can get them popped out and then move on to more of the sanding process. This part was a little tricky because we didn't want to lose that line of definition between the two surfaces, but we also still had to clean up all that excess glue. From there, we're using our Black Forest CA glue, specifically the black version, to fill in all the small cracks and voids on this piece. And you can really see with the use of the accelerator how much quicker it allows that product to dry. You can literally watch it dry right in front of your eyes. And between the CA glue and our Quick Fix epoxy, those are our go-to products for filling in all the imperfections you might have in a surface. We are going to be applying our oil finish to those tops, but you're going to have to wait until later in the video to see us do that process. Before we do that, we're going to construct the adjustable base that's going to sit beneath these Quran stands. So one of the features that the client really liked about the ones we made in the past is that they had a knob that they could loosen or tighten and then adjust that stand to the specific height of the person who's using it. So we're going to construct this base using solid Canadian black walnut. While it's not an exact match to the wood we use in the top, it's very close in color, so it's going to be nice and complementary to what we have going on up there. The first step of the process that you're seeing Jack do right now is S4S all of our material into nice square sizes. So we're jointing a straight edge, we're ripping them on the table saw, we're planing them to the desired thickness, and it's only at that point, once we have everything S4S, that we can actually begin to cut some joinery and build things with this wood. Now, while it's not the most visually interesting part of the process, fills are one of the most time-consuming parts of the entire process. It's really critical to ensure you spend the proper amount of time doing this to ensure you're not going to have any imperfections in your finished product. And like I mentioned earlier, our go-to for this is the CA glue and the Quick Fix. In this case, we're using the Quick Fix because the voids were a little bit larger than we'd want to do with the CA glue. CA glue is more so suited to those really small pinholes that you might have in your surface. So the way that this Quran stand works is there's essentially one hollow pillar that's going to sit on the outside, and then there's a solid pillar that goes on the inside that will be attached to the top, and that is what's going to slide up and down inside of that hollow column that I mentioned. So what Jack is doing here right now is squaring up all the pieces for the outside of that hollow column. Now he's using our Supermax sander just to take them down to our desired thickness, and from there we can begin cutting some of the joinery that's going to allow all these pieces to fasten together. We also need to construct a base that these stands are going to sit on. So like the rest of the stand, it's being made from that Canadian black walnut, and we're going with a bit thicker, heavier material, purposely just to give us extra stability out of these tops. We don't want them to be top heavy and be prone to tipping over, so we went with something probably chunkier than required, but it's going to help give a lot of that structure that we're after. For these bases, we're doing a 2-piece glue up. So like the rest of the joinery, we're securing it with dominoes and using Titebond 3 as an adhesive. We don't have to use any epoxy for these glue ups because it's just solid wood. Now that we have our pieces ready, we can head over to the CNC machine to begin cutting that joinery that I talked about earlier. So we're going to have 4 pieces for these outside columns, and it's just kind of a rabbet that's sitting in a dado to fasten them together. Nothing too fancy, but what it's going to allow us to achieve is this hollow cavity in the inside of this column, where then we can have our other piece of walnut slide up and down and give us the adjustability that the client has requested. What Jax is doing right now is fitting this bottom block that's going to allow our column to attach to the base. The way that we're doing that is there's going to be a large bolt that comes through the bottom, and then we can tighten that on with a nut from the underside. This is also going to give our client the option to disassemble these if for any reason they ever needed repairs, or if they wanted to ship them and allow them to pack flat. Once we've got the hardware in that bottom piece, we're just using some black epoxy to secure it in place, and we're not too worried about the way this looks because it's going to all be hidden within that column. Then, once all the joinery has been finished, we're using Titebond 3 again to assemble these columns, and this is going to permanently sandwich that bottom block with the bolt going through it that I mentioned earlier. Another part of the design of these Quran stands is that this column is actually going to separate when they adjust the piece up and down. So it's going to appear that it splits in half and then has perfect grain orientation when it comes back together. So to do that, we have to set a custom angle on our panel saw and actually cut apart the column that we just glued up and put together. That top half that you see is going to be connected to the stand itself where the Quran is going to sit, and then this bottom half will be fastened to that thick base that we made earlier. There's also going to be a knob that will allow the client to tighten or loosen this, so that's what we're drilling out for right now. We've just set up on our drill press, drilling our hole through, and that will come into play later, which you will see. Now that our outside column has been glued up and cut apart, we can begin constructing the inside column that I mentioned earlier. So this one, obviously, we don't have to glue up in 4 pieces because it's not going to be hollow, but we are going to have to add a groove where we're putting in some aluminum T-slot, and that's what's going to allow us to get hardware in there and have this piece easily slide up and down. If we didn't use the T-slot, we could have had some sort of bolt just running through the wood, but our worry was with that, because you would have metal on wood, eventually it would wear down over time, and you'd kind of have a sloppy connection. Once all the angles have been cut on that interior post, we can begin attaching the backrest that's going to support our epoxy and wood piece that we're using to support the Quran. We're just screwing this with the assistance of some Titebond 3 into place. Normally we might not screw something like this, but it is a pretty small connection, so we're very confident that these screws are going to give us the strength that we're after. From there, we're taking some of our Rampa threaded inserts and we're just edge sanding 2 flat faces on them so that they slide in nicely into the aluminum T-slot. From there, we can head back to our CNC machine and begin cutting up those knobs that I mentioned earlier that are going to allow the client to loosen and tighten this stand to take it up and down. So we just cut out the circles we need on the CNC machine, and then it's over to the bandsaw to take them out of this rough blank. Now that the work on the bases is mostly finished, we can get back to those tops and begin applying our Black Forest furniture oil. This client values the natural look and feel of the wood more than they do the ultimate protection and durability, and for that reason we've taken them to our Black Forest furniture oil. Now when I say that, it's important to keep in mind that while this isn't as durable, let's say, as the polyurethane, which would be the alternative finish option to this, it is still a very, very durable product. Our oil exists within the family of finishes that's called a hard wax finish, and those were originally designed to be used as hardwood flooring finishes, so it's not like they're just meant for low traffic items that aren't going to see much use. They're meant to hold up to lots of wear and tear. I believe actually the Copenhagen airport has all hard wax finishes on the floor that's in there, so that would probably get more traffic than anywhere, and those floors are still holding up great. So we applied 2 coats of this product. Technically it's a monocoat oil, meaning that you only need a single coat to get the protection that you need, but the advantage of a second coat is it's going to bring out way more of that gloss and shine and just give you a richer looking piece when you're done. Once our oil finish is cured and we've applied a couple coats of our Black Forest ceramic coating, we can begin the assembly process. The first step of that is to put in that aluminum T-slot that I mentioned earlier, and we're just screwing that in a couple of spots. From there, we can take the big hollow column with the bolt sticking out of the bottom and place that through the top of the base. We've put a nice little recess in the top of each base just so that it gives a cleaner looking joint and you don't see any gaps that we might have on the bottom. From there, we can tighten up the bolt on the underside that's going to make everything nice and tight. And then we can take the solid post and fit it inside the hollow post, and as long as we've measured correctly, everything should slide right into place. We can screw our knob on that's going to allow our client to loosen and tighten this piece for adjustability. And then we can get our final top part of the hollow column that we cut off earlier and begin laying out to where we're going to screw on the Quran stand itself. Once the stands have been assembled, the final part of this process is to put on the solid brass casters that are going to give these some movement so our client can easily roll them around while they're using them. It was quite a struggle, surprisingly, to find nice high quality casters that also looked beautiful. So we ended up opting for piano casters, which is kind of unfortunate. They're sold in sets of 3, but because we were doing 4 stands, the math ended up working out nicely on this. And here is a look at the finished product. To recap, the top is constructed from Bastogne walnut with a Black Forest deep resin. The base is constructed from Canadian black walnut that we finish with our Black Forest furniture oil and ceramic coating. Please let us know what you guys think about these pieces in the comments below.